Hi, welcome. I hope I have all the pen enthusiasts here. As a stationery lover myself, I know how much it excites us to go back to school shopping, and I'd love to share the tips I have on back to school shopping, the stationery I use throughout the year, and things like that. Tips in here might not be applicable to you and your situation, so it just really depends on context, but this is what I found the most useful to me. It's very, very important that you are learning and not just doing it for aesthetic purposes. Like, I can tell you the most useful notes I have are sometimes like very bad handwriting and can just be on a random piece of paper. But for me, I'd say one of your big investments is to get a good notebook. So I do love these Muji notebooks. They're cheap, affordable. They're a little bit on the smaller end, so it just depends on if you want it throughout the year or like semester long. I have in my freshman year, for math, I had the 2 semesters on different notebooks, and I would say it's definitely helpful if you're having semester finals that are separate, because if it's like cumulative, then you might want to do one entire big notebook. And for me, it really helped just having 2 because it was kind of like separate anyways. And then sophomore year, I did it on a campus notebook, and it was just like everything. And I would recommend, if you're doing any review, if you have extra pages, do all the review in the back and just use that as scratch paper, because, you know, like, not wasting paper or anything. Like, what else are you gonna use that notebook for? But for my other subjects, which weren't really a lot of notes, I would just use these ones because it was a lot easier to have it in my backpack. And let me show you here. Oh, and if you are using folders, it is so much easier to keep it in the folder. We go a little bit into organization and how I organize my backpack. First, I did not have a binder. I do not like binders. Like, I do not like them. Some of your classes may require them, so it can be different depending on what classes you're taking, but none of my classes required that. So I only had folders for all of my classes, and they were just color coded. And I would also color code these. And I saw a hack on somewhere, and just to show you like an example of what I did for organization, this would be the folder. So like, let's say that this is science, and then pretend like this is the same color, but like pretend this is black. So this would be like here, and then I kept most of like paper assignments on one side, and then I would put my notebook inside here, just so that it could be all kept in like one place, and I didn't like have everything rummaging through my notebook or rummaging through my bag. And then for the top here, I don't know where I saw this, but I saw this hack somewhere, is to color code it, just so when you're looking through, if you do end up having it just in your bag, you can see which notebook is which. And part of organization is having a good planner. Your school might be giving you a planner, which is definitely useful, so use that one. It'll just be most likely like a regular to-do list, stuff like that by period. If you want any study planner recommendations, I would recommend the campus study planner. Bro, I sound like a campus glazer, but I do love these. So this one is a daily one, but I recommend the weekly one. I don't have the weekly one on me, but when I was using the weekly one, it was like perfect because it's not too much space, but it's not too little space. If you're not studying a lot per day, then I would recommend the weekly one. And there's also a 2-weekly one, or I don't know how to say it, but it has like 2 weeks on it. That one is a little too small for me writing in it, so that's why I recommend the weekly. But daily, I would say more during like finals, when you have a lot to study per day. So just like, so here's like a blank page of, this will also be like kind of similar to the weekly, but basically you put, these are all undated, so you put the date, and then you can put the subject here, and then you have your task, and then whether you did it or not. And then there's like this little like time blocking table right here, and I find this really useful for just like tracking the amount of time I study, or if you want to plan out the study time. So definitely look into those if you're interested. And I would say that a lot of your notebooks should be like what you invest in the most if you want to splurge money, but you definitely don't need to be paying a lot for it because any paper really works and it just matters on what you need. In terms of pens and pencils, I would say splurging on mechanical pencils or anything that can have refills is the best. So like these, and I would say on the cheaper end, you should do whiteout, lead, and erasers because you're gonna go through that a lot. So I just use like generic brand. I use the Pentel for this, and then this is just from Daiso because I couldn't find my regular ones. Also black pens, unless it's like you're refilling it every time, I would just say like get any black pen because like, yeah, you could have like the smudge free one, but am I gonna buy that every single time? No, I'm just gonna buy the 30 pack. Ruler is a must. Have a ruler. It's just good. Just have a ruler. If you also want to splurge, I would say highlighters. These should last you throughout almost like a year if you're not highlighting a lot. I even use this one a lot, and I had it for about a year, and then like a year and a semester. So you should be fine. And pencil cases, depends on you again, but I like to keep it simple. Like for pencil cases, I would recommend keeping it simple just because, yes, I love the ones that are like, oh, it has so many pockets, you can do so many things with it, but it just like, it's this idea of like hoarding stuff. Like I don't want it because then I'm just gonna have like everything in my bag, and I don't want to be keeping my desk stuff inside my pencil case and then end up losing it. Just have like one of these, put all your main stuff in here, and then if you really want, have another separate one with like more of your other things that you don't usually use but might need in the future. Also when it comes to pens and pencils, make sure it's comfortable because like these Muji ones really blew up, but I would say like these are super uncomfortable to write in because like, bro, there's no grip on this and it just sucks. Like especially because I write so close to the thing, it's like but yeah, I would also say black pens in general that are just like roller ball pens are really useful too. They're pretty smooth and they're usually pretty reliable. So when in doubt, go rollerball. Gel can be like smearing sometimes, so it just really depends on what you prefer. But I found rollerball pretty good. I use gel on my notes and it would smudge a lot, so it just depends on you. If you do need help, ideas for keeping paper somewhere, for binder and graph paper, I would recommend just doing a folder because if you're already doing all folders, you might as well. Because, oh, pretend that's not there, but I would put graph here and then binder on the other side. But yeah, so those are all my tips. If you'd like to see more, please let me know. Thank you.